Hello, I'm Rebecca Pow and I'm going to give you a short insight into my world and all the subjects I get involved with. That's growing, gardening, rural issues, farming and nature. As far as I'm concerned, they pretty much all dovetail together. My garden is my pleasure. It's also a canvas for much of my writing and broadcasting work, and I open it for charity. As you can see, it's late autumn and there are still plenty of jobs to be doing out in the garden, like for example sweeping up all these leaves that have just been blown down. Put them into a container and they'll rot down to make great leaf mould that you can then use to spread back onto the garden as a good mulch. It's also a good time to cut down dogwoods or cornices. Now I've got loads of cornices around the garden. They're fantastic for winter colour, just look at them. You can get dark red stems, you can get bright red stems, you can get limey greens and oranges. But actually if you want to maintain that colour, you do have to be quite ruthless and cut the stems down to about 6 inches above the ground during the winter. And then when they grow back up again next year, you'll get the nice colour. But I do this on a rotational basis, so it's not to shave them all to the ground all at once. Now, if you want to propagate more plants, this is a great time of year to take cuttings from your cornices. Just choose a nice stem with plenty of buds on it. Take a slanting diagonal cut above a bud, like that, so that way you know that's the top of the plant. Then below a bud, you want about an 8-centimetre section of stem. You just cut straight across below your bottom bud like that. That's your 8-centimetre section, and all I'm going to do is stick that into some soil in my vegetable garden outside and leave it to root. Okay, well I'm just checking on the pig. In fact, I'm going to feel the pig to see if he's ready to go to the abattoir. And you do that by pressing down on the backbone. You still need to have a nice layer of fat, but you need to be able to feel the bone. And actually, he is about ready to go. This pig is a cross between a Duroc, a large white, and a Gloucester Old Spot, and we've found over the years we've been keeping pigs that this is the best mix of breeds for the best quality carcass and actually the nicest temperament of pig. This is my low maintenance gravel garden created from a piece of field just a few years ago. The plants are mainly comprised of ornamental grasses, flowering perennials in vibrant purples, oranges and yellows, and an underplanting of bulbs. And all the plants are planted through black plastic and gravel is spread over the top. And it really is no work at all. I don't do anything to this border until I cut it down at the end of February. And it actually looks fantastic in the winter with the frost on it. If you add all the land comprising gardens in this country together, you come up with 1 million acres. Now that could be a wonderfully significant habitat for wildlife if you manage the gardens in the right way. So with that in mind, I do leave a lot of my borders long all winter. I don't do that traditional cut down that many gardeners do. And it provides shelter for overwintering insects, it provides food and berries and seeds for birds, and I honestly do think it does make a difference to these populations of wildlife. Now you might be wondering what creature might live in this enormous box. Well, we're hoping it's going to be a barn owl. The box is going to go up on a big old horse chestnut tree in the village as part of the Somerset Barn Owl project. And the project is aimed to help provide homes for these creatures whose population has crashed enormously over the last few decades because there are less and less barns for them to nest in, and there are less and less grassy places to provide them with the voles and the mice that they really need for their food. There we go, there we go. These are Welsh Mountain Black Sheep. They're quite timid creatures actually, but they soon learn the sound of a rattling bucket and they come for some extra food. We're actually just fattening them up a little bit to finish them off because they'll be off to market this weekend. I love to grow as many vegetables as possible, and I'm doing an experiment with my onions this year. I put onion sets in modules like that and they're already looking brilliant. And I put some other sets in here and I'm growing them in a little polytunnel. Now, how do you tell whether a pig is happy and healthy? And this pig has been romping about in the paddock until just the last couple of weeks. Well, you look at his tail, and if it's nicely curly, he's a happy, healthy pig.